Okay, 1989, good luck. So we've not played before, we have no head-to-head score there. Opponent's 7,600 games, so very well established rating. Oh, 8,000 in blitz as well. So just play a normal carrow. You choose to take. So take back is the correct move. The queen gets you out of the more standard theory a little bit easier, but going with the pawn is the more standard correct move. So we'll just develop our knights here, try and get castled, then worry about what to do. So he's trying to stop us from developing our bishop here. So I'm going to actually go this way. And now it's a case of what do I want to do with this bishop? I'll just bring the knight up for the time being. You know, how do we develop? We could do this and try and go here, I guess. Yeah, I'm going to do that. If knight in, I think I'm okay to take, but I'll just stop and think about it. We might end up trading the knight for the bishop. He goes there. So queen across now. This is guarded. So I'm just going to play that. Just looking to try and challenge this light squared bishop. My knight guards my pawn. He's gone back. So I'm going to go ahead and actually challenge that. Just trying to make sure I'm not blundering something sloppy, which could happen at any moment. Okay, he just comes forward. So I'm going to trade the bishop. Now I think it makes sense to push the pawn. And there is this annoying bishop down move, but it feels fine, doesn't it? I could delay that and try and go this side instead. Yeah, actually, let's just push this side instead now, because bishop down is a very logical move anyway for white. Let's just see how he wants to play this. He's gone there. Okay. So do I want to try and expand? I still like the idea of pawn up here. Take some strain off. It's whether you want to try and go up two, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. I'm just going to try and gain some space on the queen side. It might be a mistake. My knight's not guarded by a pawn now, and he indeed immediately jumps in. So takes, bishop takes, I guess. Knight across is not really a move. Knight back could be. I think it's time to push up now. Just so I don't forget about this pawn should my knight be traded. I don't think he'll take here, but you never know. It's a safe pre-move, so I'll do that. Okay, so we have traded there. As he might be wanting to trade here as well. I think I'm okay to leave that for now. But rook here stops the knight dropping back. So what other options have we got? Rook across, or maybe just start pushing the pawns. I like the idea of just simple pawn pushes, actually. That looks logical to me. I don't want knight here. I don't want knight here. Knight back could be a move. Bishop takes, takes. Actually, that looks a lot common sense, because I can just drop my knight straight back to f6. So the knight can always just come straight back to f6. Okay, we've spent an extra move, but it feels fine, doesn't it? Feels fine. Doesn't mean it is, but it feels like it is. That knight's not really coming forward unless you get queen in, and I can step back, or knight here. Actually, yeah, so if queen comes down, knight here, you've still got a knight check and a take, and you've got a knight check and a take, so that covers it. So I'm just going to work on that basic idea to push this side. I'm a minute down on the clock already, but I think I can just try and blast open. Takes, takes. We might trade a set of rooks, takes, and the pawns are all blasted open. So it's maybe a pawn sack, but if I don't, he can just push on potentially. But does he? Yeah, I'm going to move the rook first, preparing it, and see if white tries to jump forward. He might do. Then it's a case of how do you take back? But if you don't, I'm just preparing the obvious pawn push. He ignores it for now, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that and hope it's not a blunder. If it is, it is. Okay, he's just pushed on again, so he's lining up. This sort of concept might come. Like I say, right now I think knight across covers the knight potential jump. So he's lining it up. So I'm going to take the pawn and see how he deals with this. So rook up, rook down is a natural defense. Is rook across then playable? You've still got a defensive move, but it feels like I'm doing all right there. And you're defending, aren't you? So That looks logical to me, so I'm going to play a rook up just threatening to win a pawn. Now I'm going to play the other rook across threatening to win the pawn again. Now does he go and defend it? But then it's a little bit more awkward for us to create any chances then. But at least white's more defensive. Albeit up a minute and a half on the clock. But now, how do we create any actual pressure? Okay. We could go here with a view to trying to trade off a rook. Maybe we can just activate the knight. He's always got knight back here now. But knight across takes away the potential pawn push. But I don't think we're likely to do that. So I'm looking at rook across just to try and trade this rook. Knight over. Okay, he's offering a draw. It's a little bit early for a draw. I'm just going to play across and try and trade the rook. I might well lose the game, of course. I'm perfectly capable of blundering or just being outplayed in any game, but it feels a little bit early to just try and agree a draw. Now he's launching one. Okay, so h5 looks logical here, and then it stops queen coming down, so I'm going to match that. Now I've got a target. I've got this as well, but we've got a target, a pawn not guarded now. If I can get the queen, something like this. And now you don't have queen here, so he has played knight back. So I'm going to get rid of one of the rooks. Okay, so I'm looking at knight across now, creating a check threat. I don't see any reason not to do that. And then I'm going to try and get the queen to pressure the pawn, but there is an immediate check threat. He can't step forward, I don't think, because there's a rook coming in. Here, maybe, I'm not sure, but there is a check here as well. It's just simple chess, trying to keep it very simple, just a basic check threat. Rook across, I've still got check, and if you have to come forward, might be getting around the back. The queen's getting active. But of course, there could be a great move from white somewhere here that I'm not seeing. Now, I'm still a minute down on the clock. But let's just worry about it when it's our move now. It might actually be fine for white giving up an exchange as well. It might be a perfectly good, solid position. Doesn't mean it's winning for me, even if we win the rook for knight. But we've got targets. We've got the c3 pawn and the h4 pawn. They're both natural targets, if we can get to them. Oh, he has played the king forward move. That felt dangerous to me. So what's the idea? If I come back and you go here, check, you can then just simply take and you're guarding, so I'll lose the knight. So check, you just go here for now. So I'm looking at rook across. It's whether you can trap my rook. I don't think you can. Then try and get the queen more here to target the pawn. But obviously I could just immediately check here as well. But right now we're not threatening to win the pawn, so where do you go? Check. I mean, you surely can't be coming forward. So you're going to go to one of these, probably back. Then check. Pawn blocks. So check, back, check, pawn blocks. And that might be just pushing white to where you want to go. So I'm looking at check, queen blocks, and queen back to create pressure on the pawn with a knight check. Not sure it works though. What do I do? I've got knight here as well, haven't I? Yeah. I'm going to play this one and hit the rook and see where the rook goes. Idea rook across. Or even rook here. Actually, yeah, that looks strong, doesn't it? Rook to f1 to hit the pawn if you go here, for instance. Rook to f1 looks like it's a candidate move here. There's no knight to jump anywhere safe. So if I get rook f1 in, I'm threatening to crash through, I think. I think I am. I might be wrong. Cursor off the board so there's no accidental mouse slips. I'll get my hand off the mouse so I can't move it. But I say he might give up the exchange here and he might be perfectly fine. It might be good for white. The knight might hold the pawns and there might be no way for me to actually break through, and I'm still down that minute on the clock. But yeah, depending on what white does, rook f1 is a move I'm looking at now as my next likely move, depending on what happens, say rook d3. So he has played forward with the queen, giving up the exchange, but if I go here now, he's then got the rook across. So I've probably got to take. But then he might be really solid, mightn't he? Rook here, and I'm not seeing any way through, so I'm going to take it. And I'm wondering whether to do a move like this, but it weakens this pawn. How do I make progress now? Rook here or rook here? I'm just going to go here for now to pressure the knight and see what you do with it, then maybe a check. Because I'm still bearing in mind I'm a minute down on the clock. He's got a check and I think I can just step back right now. But queen forward and then the knight forward, and there's potential issues. He has come forward. Okay, so now can I go here and threaten just to win here? I'm going here to threaten to take the pawn. If check, I think I can simply step back. I don't think there's an effective sacrifice right now. If he goes back, oh, he has gone for a sack. Okay, I'm just going to trust that I'm fine here because I'm crashing through, I think. I just trust that I'm not blundering a repetition. I can block with the queen if he checks, and then I don't think he's got a follow-up. If he checks here, I just sidestep. Now, can I just check here and block? So if I block here, you've got no check there. And how do you guard your pawn? So if I block here, you might have to go here, but then I can just tuck my king away, right? It's got to be right to block. Okay, he's gone there, but now I can take. He has created a checkmate threat, I'm aware of it, so I think I can just go here. Got to be careful just in case I blunder something really sloppy. If takes, I can check. And then, or I can try and bring my rook back maybe. But I think I check to make sure there's no check from the queen next move. And now I think I'll step up. I could go up 2 actually, but if I go up 1, I'm threatening checkmate. But I'm still a minute and a half down on the clock. Okay, so now we've got a target, but can we get to it? Like, rook across threatens a pawn again. It must be good. There's no check from the queen, so I'm safe for 1 move. I just don't want to blunder a clean rook. Then obviously I'm trying to use my time wisely, but not get too low that you just so low on the clock that you just panic and make a really sloppy blunder and chuck it away. Oh, he's just had enough, he's resigned. So we've managed to get a very good win there. So I will pause and put that through the analyzer. We've done, what, 43 moves? So we'll just run that through and see what the engine says that we did. Oh, it's very good. Wow, I've played a very good game. 95% accuracy, 89 on my opponent, and 14 centre pawn loss. The lower that is, the better. My average is about 32. And the engine is saying rook takes b1 was the only blunder. So we're basically level here. So for me, it was a mistake there. I should have played the immediate knight to f6. It was a mistake offering the rook trade. Then equally, it's a mistake from my opponent actually trading. Should have played queen to f4, the engine says. And we're then +3, and we're then better for the rest of the game. So that's actually a really good win. So that's actually gone very, very good, about as good as it could have gone for me. So very, very good.